Busan, 1990. The streets are drowning in a relentless downpour. Dong-soo collapses under a hail of blades, his blood washed away into the sewers by the rain. The order for this hit came from his once best friend. In 2001, director Kwak Kyung-taek released a film called Friend. It's hard to imagine that this movie, with no idol stars and filled with the raw, gritty dialect of Busan, would completely rewrite the DNA of Korean noir. The story begins in 1976. Back then, Busan was a rough industrial city in the throes of modernization. 4 boys, born into 4 different lives, were destined for 4 different fates. Jun-seok was a natural-born leader. His father was a local mob boss, and though his home was shadowed by violence, at school, he was everyone's shield. Dong-soo, on the other hand, was the son of an undertaker. In that era of Korea, handling the dead was seen as a lowly, even unlucky profession. There's a telling detail in the film. Every day after school, Dong-soo had to help his father wipe down cold wooden coffins. That sense of inferiority seeping into his bones since childhood became a shadow he could never outrun. The other 2, Sang-taek and Jung-ho, were from ordinary families. Sang-taek was the star student, representing the righteous path of changing one's life through education. This quartet formed a delicate balance. Jun-seok was the spiritual leader. Dong-soo was the strongest fighter. And Sang-taek and Jung-ho were the audience to this relationship. In the famous theater brawl scene, Jun-seok and Dong-soo stay behind to hold the line. This wasn't just loyalty, it was a rehearsal for their destiny. 2 of them were fated to remain in the darkness of the underworld, while the other 2 would walk into the sunlight of society. This is where Friend is brilliant. Within the first 30 minutes, it tells you, friendship can transcend personality, but it can rarely transcend class. Jump to the 1980s. Sang-taek goes to university in Seoul, while the lives of those left in Busan fall apart. Jun-seok, devastated by his mother's death, falls into a severe drug addiction. The once mighty leader becomes a hollow ghost, hiding in a dim attic. Meanwhile, Dong-soo goes to prison, taking the fall for a gang fight. This leads to the most debated point among viewers. By the time Dong-soo is released, Jun-seok has cleaned up and taken over the family business. But Dong-soo? He is still expected to be the second in command or return to the undertaker's shop. That's when Chingoo appears, the rival of Jun-seok's late father. Chingoo is a calculated, business-minded mobster. He offers Dong-soo 2 things Jun-seok never could: absolute wealth and absolute status. The thick stack of cash Chingoo slides across the table isn't just money. It's Dong-soo's ticket to shedding the label of Undertaker's son and the identity of Jun-seok's sidekick. People say Dong-soo betrayed his friend for money, but more accurately, he did it to buy back his dignity. He chose the enemy camp not because he hated Jun-seok, but because he desperately needed to win against him, just once. In the logic of the Busan underworld, to prove you are somebody, you must own your own territory. Thus, the strongest shield and the sharpest blade were officially pointed at each other. By 1990, the Busan underworld is drenched in blood. To prove his strength, Dong-soo becomes increasingly ruthless, even crossing the line by killing a high-ranking member of Jun-seok's faction. Jun-seok asks for one last meeting. The dialogue is sparse, but the tension is explosive. Jun-seok suggests that Dong-soo go to Hawaii for a while. This isn't a threat, it's a final plea. He wants Dong-soo to leave so he doesn't have to order the death of his own brother. Dong-soo looks at the ticket and smiles. He asks Jun-seok, "Have you ever been to Hawaii?" Then he follows it with, "You go, it suits you better." Those words severed the last thread of warmth between them. Dong-soo refused to leave because he believed in his own strength. He believed he would finally win. Then comes the night that shook Korean cinema. Dong-soo steps out of the nightclub and is surrounded by assassins. Why didn't he fall after so many stabs? Why were his final words, "That's enough"? Because he was tired. He had spent his whole life fighting for a scrap of dignity. In that moment, he could finally rest. For Jun-seok, giving that order was his duty as a boss, but it became a lifelong curse as a friend. Two years later, Jun-seok is on trial. He could have shifted the blame or claimed an alibi. Instead, he calmly confesses to everything. Behind the prison glass, a shocked Sang Taek asks, "Are you crazy? Why did you confess?" Jun-seok lowers his head and whispers, "Because if I don't confess, it would be too embarrassing for Dong-soo." That line is the soul of the film. If Jun-seok doesn't take responsibility, it means Dong-soo died in a meaningless accident. By confessing, Jun-seok proves that Dong-soo was a rival worthy of being ordered dead by the boss himself. This was the final, cruelest form of respect Jun-seok could give. The final scene takes us back to the summer of 1976. Four boys run across a long breakwater and dive into the clear blue sea. Back then, they hadn't heard the sound of money and they hadn't seen the color of blood. The Korean word for friend, Chingoo, literally means longtime relative. In the rainy nights of our own growth, every one of us has lost a friend like this. Are you the one who went to Hawaii or the one who fell in the rain?